I've come to realize that there's many different forms of life. There's many different ways to go about this thing that we call life. There's no right or wrong answers. So, what I do might not be exactly something that you'd want to do. So I'm a nurse. A lot of guys will be like, there's no way I want to be a nurse. That's a female job. I like basketball. You might think that's a pussy sport. A real sport is rugby. That's a real sport. Or cricket. That's a real gentleman's sport. I like a yellow car. I've got a yellow Evo 7, right? A lot of people are like, man, that sticks out way too much. That grinds me the wrong way. I want a gray car or a black car or a white car or something like that. There's many different things that I like that you might not like. And that's fine. There's no reason for us to argue about it. There's just absolutely no right or wrong answer to this. It's like, I like the color yellow, you like the color blue. And that's fine. So when it comes to training, it's the same type of mentality. I like squat every day. You might squat once a fortnight. That's okay. We can still be friends because we are still talking about powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, bodybuilding. We're the same type of guy. It's just we have a different take on things. That doesn't mean we have to kill each other over it because we're pretty much the same guy. We spend a lot of our time freaking thinking about training, doing the training, and talking to people about training. And so I often see a lot of guys, many different types of communities, go at each other's throats over these type of things. I grew up a Holden fan before I kind of realized the Jap car scene was for me. My brother was into Holdens. And I'd often kind of see a lot of Ford fans argue, with him, which car is the better car. And a lot of the times I used to be like, why are they like, does it matter which car's better or what thing? It's kind of like, so my car is the Evo 7, right? That thing is basically made to race, to rally. It's got a 2-liter, very strong engine. It goes really, really quickly. I guess the top speed is not all that good because of the short gearing. It's very, very uncomfortable. It's very, very loud. So this is a car that my dad in his 60s is not a car that he would want to enjoy or drive. That's not his thing. So if you're thinking about like a video game type of thought exercise. So I've kind of, let's just say, maxed out the acceleration bar. I've maxed out the handling bar. And I've got no points in the bar of comfort. There's no leather. Air conditioner is pretty poor. It's really yellow. It's immature. There's all these different things. So I've decided to buy a car which is distributed these points in certain types of bars. And so you might not like that. You might like the whole idea about squat every day. I don't like the idea of not squatting every day. The point is, we are the same people, man. If you're a car guy, I'm a car guy. If you're a powerlifting guy, I'm a powerlifting guy. It seems like, though, there's some communities that are kind of like making the same type of character fight themselves or fight another person, which is basically the same thing. And so, I believe there's many different ways of, to go about living life. We're still fitness people. This whole idea about studies coming out and proving this or proving that, these studies are well and good, but if these exercise programs have you quitting, or, I often see guys, post online about how, they've kind of moved away from training, or, they go into an injury, or, the mental space isn't right, and so they moved away from training for a little bit. I always think to myself, like, I wonder if there's a training routine for you out there that you actually enjoy, that you look forward to. A lot of these programs are just damn brutal. There's many different personalities out there, many different types of lifestyles. 5x5 is not for everyone. I keep bringing 5x5 up all the time, but I have nothing against it. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that vouch for it and like the whole idea, the whole plan. But there's a lot of different people out there, and for many, many years, man, I've been nursing for 12 years, man, and so I've been a shift worker for 12 freaking years. And I found it really, really hard to follow these cookie cutter programs. And it wasn't until I kind of broke free from that rigid planning that I just said, I'm going to run my own thing. I feel like I can still work hard and still progress and still fit into a nursing roster and still not work hard, 5x5 at 80%, 85% right before a night shift. That's not optimal. And so these type of programs, I found myself, maybe like you, skipping on those days. Well, I'm not feeling really good right now, so I have to skip. And then, so what happens if you skip 2 or 3 of these sessions in a row and your program calls for a three-day split? What happens? Do you reset these numbers? Like, you've broken away from from its programming, from the author's thinking. So what happens when this happens? So I feel like there needs to be a period of experimentation. There needs to be like this period where you go and you work out what suits you. And it might seem that it's not the most optimal program out there. The most optimal program out there is the Bulgarian method. You train 3 times a week, you squat 3 times a day rather, you squat up to 20 times, 21 times a week. That's the most optimal. But then you start layering all the other stuff in my life. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a nurse, I'm a brother, I'm a son, blah, 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 blah. You start layering all these things on. All of a sudden, I have less and less time to spend to training. I have less and less energy to think about training. And so we all kind of have our different kind of, setups. But that doesn't mean that we, completely get rid of training. I can't do Bulgarian method. That means I can't train at all. It doesn't have to be that way. And so I think we need to move away from this thinking of, arguing what's the best thing. You can't argue that. It's kind of like arguing what is the best method of playing basketball? What is the best method of playing soccer? Or what is the best formation in soccer? Everything has strengths and weaknesses. If you got 3 guys at the back in soccer, that means you got more people at the front. So that means a bit more of attacking type of formation. If you got 4 guys at the back, that means less attacking formation, but you're kind of safer at the back. So it's not a matter of I'm right and you're wrong. It's just preferences. How do you like to live life? I think that's kind of how we have to look at it. When you hear someone talk about, I did this or I did that, and then there's like a response, oh, you're an idiot, what are you doing that for? This is what you got to do. I think we're forgetting that we're not all the same person, man. We are not all the same weight, height, leverages. So someone like me, I can squat every day and think nothing of it. But deadlifting I found really difficult. But then there's guys out there who are deadlifting every single day and smashing 3 sets of 5 at 80, 85% and feeling nothing. And so I can't do his programming. He can't do my programming because we're kind of different people, different exposures, different injuries, different experience, different duration of time under the bar. And so I think we need to move away from that type of tone where we are kind of arguing against each other. And instead we need to kind of consider, okay, that's one form of life. That's one way of living and spending time on this planet. And I've got mine. And so, I don't think we should argue about it. But that's part of our nature. I guess if I think about the political world, it's all about arguing your point. It's about voting, and then the topic that gets less votes is the inferior, and so we're not going to do that. We're going to move with this ideology. The good thing about training is there's no democracy. There's nothing. It's just you and your likes, and you get to do whatever the hell you want to do, man. If you want to squat once a freaking month and spend all of your points, all of your recovery points into deadlifting, do that. But don't feel so restricted and feel so bad because you're not doing X, Y, and Z. The main thing that I always say to people is, I just want to get you off the couch, man. That's it. Just get you off the couch. And if you are having fun with your program, you're more likely going to be running towards that training session rather than be like, oh God, here we go again. I got to go to the gym, drive to the gym, pick a squat rack and go through this damn freaking routine, which I'm not enjoying. Screw that. Get rid of that. Do something that you want to do. Even if it's, academically deemed as suboptimal. It's not going to be suboptimal for you because you're going to be rocking up more often. I said this in the other video the other day. A bad program is more effective than a good program when it's done more. Do you know what I mean? Like even if it's a really bad program, if you're not missing training sessions that you'd be otherwise missing with a really good program, then you're doing good, man. I think a lot of us try to fit into these weird boxes that been arbitrarily kind of like thought of. You need to do this or that. If you finish your 4th set of 5 and you prescribe 5 sets of 5, and the 4th set is you feel like your freaking temporal arteries just blew up and you freaking have an intracranial bleed, man, let it go, man. Just call it a 4 and that's it. You don't have to do 5 because that 5th set is going to call for bad technique. It's going to have you straining. You're going to be muscling it up. You're going to be getting out of positions. You're going to be risking your neck, an injury. I think we need to have enough confidence within ourselves to be like, okay, I think I've had enough and move away. Because you might think to yourself, I want to be a hard ass and finish these 5 sets of 5 because I won't be able to sleep tonight. But then you're going to go through that 5th set, you're going to go to sleep, and then you're going to wake up the next day with a little bit less will to go train because you've just gone through freaking war. And our bodies don't want to go through war every single day. This is one thing that I've kind of realized with training and auto regulation is, I have to be honest with myself. There are some days where I want to run through a brick wall and I really want to fight. I really want to fight. There's other days where I can't be freaking asked. I just want to be freaking left alone. I just want to go through the range of motion. And both of these days are okay. You don't need to find explanations why or what or how many calories or how many hours of sleep or who said what to you. Just run with the punches, man. Just run with it. Whatever your body gives you, take it. This is what I always say to people, man. Like I think a lot of these ideas when it comes to consistency and longevity in training comes down to your setup. It's your psyche about thinking not every day needs to be a war, a type of setup when you train. Because those things are not fun, man. It's not fun to go die every day under the barbell. A lot of you guys have said to me that since you're starting your own squat everyday journey, you've kind of had more fun with training because of this whole idea of auto regulation. So what do you mean? I can just come in and just play around with the bar and work up to 60% for a couple of triples and call it quits? Yeah, man. Because I know for a fact, nobody can tell me otherwise, that type of session where you just move your bar, practice some technique, that is worse than staying on the couch. Any type of freaking movement is better than no movement. Bruce Lee said it once. I think I've said it 100 times on this damn channel in the last 2 years. Bruce Lee said it best. Running water never goes stale. It's such a simple freaking quote by him. I don't know when he said that or which text, but that's one of his quotes. Running water never goes stale. So keep moving. Keep moving. What do we know about health and illness? The moment a body stops, it gets sick. That's it. Like people get blood clots in their calves, in their lungs, if they have prolonged bed rest. So people in hospital, when they come in for whatever procedure or they have to be in bed for a long time, be in hospital for a long time, we put these socks called these TED stockings on or compression stockings on, and we give them these injections to stop blood clots forming in the calves because they're not moving so much. In ICUs, we like to rotate people for pressure area care. Like people get bed sores if they don't move a lot. Blood clots form everywhere. You lose muscle mass. Like there's all these different things that happen to a body that doesn't move. That doesn't mean you run a marathon every day. That doesn't mean you do 10 sets of freaking 1 rep max every single day. But you find something that's kind of right for you. Just think about movement. This is where I sometimes don't like it in the fitness world where people bash each other over which program they should do. The overall consensus should be do something. Even if it's just getting under an empty bar, and that's better movement than nothing. That's better than playing video games. It's better than watching Netflix. That's better than being inactive. So I'm always up for that. That's why a lot of the times in the comments I hear what people are talking about, their splits, and I always say, yeah, that's great. If you want to do seated good mornings, that's great. Do that instead of standing good mornings. Whatever the case might be, just keep doing it. And then if you're at the gym and you have rocked up at the gym, you're having fun, then we can have some friendly discussions about what I think and what you think. But this tone of you shouldn't be doing that, that's bad for that or whatever, it's not, everything's not for everyone. You know what I mean? And so I think we need to just appreciate that. For me, man, I'm 33 almost. At the end of January, I'll be 33, and I've taken a long time to kind of realize that I want to train and I want to have fun. This is a fun thing for me, and the moment you start not having fun, your days are numbered, man. Especially if you are not kind of elite, or if you're not a professional or whatever. Like I get it. If this is giving you a paycheck and you're getting after it and you just have to get the results, that's cool. But if you're in this like me and purely a hobby and you love to freaking be around the squat rack, you love to be about the barbells and the plates, I think it's your role to just have fun. Like have fun. And I don't think you having fun and working hard need to be kind of enemies. You can still have fun and work hard. But if you rock up today and you're like, I really don't feel like going through 85% like a heavy day, you don't have to. You don't have to, and your willpower will reward you. This is like literally every single day I wake up, I look forward to these sessions. Not a word of a lie. I'll actually look forward to these sessions because I have the liberty to change it on the fly. Man, squats are feeling rubbish today. I cannot hit 85% today. That's cool, Ivan, no worries, hit 70%, hit whatever feels comfortable. And I'm like, oh that's great, man. Thanks, man. I guess I'll train. I'll do freaking 10 singles at 70. You know? But if there was no flexibility in the program, I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm dreading this session. I'm nervous. I'm losing sleep. I'm losing my appetite. It's just stressing me out. And what do we know about stress? Oh, man, don't even get me started on this. I think the black screen is really near, but stress is a killer, man. I once read a book. I forget the fella's name. Robert Spolsky or something like this. He's like a neuroscientist. I've butchered his last name. I know it. The book's name is called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. It really, really does an excellent job in describing what stress is and why zebras don't get ulcers. Zebras don't get ulcers because they don't have this chronic stress. They don't worry about bills. They don't worry about these long-term things. A zebra is like, there's a lion, run, save my freaking life. The moment that zebra is safe, stress hormones are gone. I'm safe again. They're not worrying about these chronic things, their job, traffic on the road, relationships. They have no worries. All they're thinking about is food, water, sleep, I guess. So they don't worry about these, they don't have long-term stresses. Cortisol is a hormone which is a stress hormone. It has many different functions, but too much of it, long-term, like if you have a really high baseline of this just simmering for a long, long time, it can do very, very bad things to our bodies. It makes us put on weight. It's been linked to everything, like, many, many different things. Lack of sleep, lack of testosterone counts, higher insulin releases, all these weird different things that happen. So cortisol is like your enemy. If you're trying to lose weight and you're getting really, really stressed, this is counterproductive. Really, really counterproductive to be really stressed. So what I'm trying to say is that if you are stressing about your training program, you're not doing yourself justice, because that stress, that inherent stress that's coming along with this training session is actually giving you a negative feedback mechanism instead of a positive feedback mechanism. You want things to be positive. So if you are really, really stressed about something and you're continuously getting stressed over it, like the 20 rep program, the squat and mill program, man, I did that for a few weeks, man. I can tell you, man, I was getting like legit nervous before those sessions. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get under that bar and I'm gonna have to die on that bar today. Some days it's cool. I'm ready to fight. I want to, have a punch up with the bar. But there's other days where I'm just not up for it, man. I've had a tough day, man. I don't want to come in here and like bleed on the damn bar. So it used to stress me because I would have to kind of get psyched up. And I found that cortisol level wasn't actually healthy for me. And there's, these experts that talk about it all the time. Just get away from stressful situations as much as possible. There's links between longevity of life and health is, completely correlated with, cortisol levels. So it's the more cortisol level you have, the worse health outcomes you have. So minimize your stress and your health will go through the roof. Your training will go through the roof. You'll have more fun. And so don't be afraid to auto-regulate. Don't be afraid to think about it in a different light. We're not rigid machines. We are biology. And if you know anything about biology, man, it's always in some sort of state of flux. It's always looking for an equilibrium. So I don't know. I'm always somebody that talks about fun. I'm always thinking about how to get people into fitness, whether it be my wife or my best friends. I'm always thinking about how do I sell fitness, because I know once you get into the swing of things and you fall in love with the gains and the progress and all of that, then it's just momentum. But telling somebody from kind of day one how to sell it to them, fitness, it doesn't have to be a cortisol orgy. It doesn't have to be stress. You don't have to bleed on the bar. You can just grease the damn groove. Come in and have fun. Move the bar a little bit and you'll see progress. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.